Over the years, Hollywood has been known for its constant remakes and adaptations of classic films. While some have been successful, others have failed to live up to the original's legacy, leaving fans disappointed and even angry. The film industry's obsession with remakes has led to a list of the top worst remakes that have ruined classic films. We'll be taking a closer look at what made the original film so beloved and why the remakes fell short of expectations. So sit back, grab some popcorn, and get ready to explore some of the most notorious remakes that failed to capture the magic of the original. Number 7. Psycho. The 1998 remake of Psycho, directed by Gus Van Sant, is widely considered to be one of the worst remakes that ruined a classic film. The original Psycho, directed by Alfred Hitchcock and released in 1960, is considered a masterpiece of the horror genre and is often cited as one of the greatest films ever made. Van Sant's remake attempted to recreate the original film shot for shot using the same script and camera angles as the original. However, it failed to capture the tension, suspense, and horror that made the original so iconic. Critics and audiences alike panned the film, with many feeling that it was unnecessary and lacked the creativity and originality of the original. Despite the star power of the cast and the efforts to faithfully recreate the original, the remake was unable to capture the same magic as the original, leading to it being widely considered a disappointment and a failure. Number 6. Godzilla. One of the most infamous remakes is the 1998 version of Godzilla, directed by Roland Emmerich. This film was criticized for its departure from the original Japanese films in terms of tone, storyline, and character design. The American version of Godzilla was completely redesigned and portrayed as a mutated iguana rather than the classic depiction of this monster. Fans of the original films were disappointed with this interpretation, and the film was widely considered a flop. Another controversial remake was the 2014 film Godzilla, directed by Gareth Edwards. While the film received some praise for its visual effects and tone, it was criticized for its slow pacing and lack of character development. Many viewers were also disappointed with the limited screen time given to the titular monster, as much of the film focused on the human characters instead. Overall, remaking classic Godzilla films can be a challenging task, as there are often high expectations from fans and a legacy to uphold. While some remakes have been successful, such as the recent Godzilla vs. Kong in 2021, others have failed to live up to the original films and the expectations of audiences. Number 5. Ben-Hur. There have been 2 major remakes of the classic film Ben-Hur, both of which received mixed to negative reviews. The first remake was released in 2010 as a TV miniseries. This adaptation starred Joseph Morgan as Judah Ben-Hur and was produced by the American network ABC. While the miniseries attempted to stay true to the original story, it was criticized for its lack of epic scale and emotional depth, which were hallmarks of the 1959 film. The second remake was released in 2016 as a feature film directed by Timur Bekmambetov. This version starred Jack Huston as Judah Ben-Hur and was heavily criticized for its lack of originality and poor execution. Many critics and viewers felt that the film was unnecessary and failed to capture the essence of the original story. In both cases, the remakes of Ben-Hur were unable to replicate the success and impact of the 1959 film, which won a record-setting 11 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. The original film's grand scale, powerful performances, and timeless story have ensured its place as a classic in cinema history. Before we move on, support us by hitting subscribe and the bell icon to get notified when we post new videos. Now let's get back to our topic. Number 4. Around the World in 80 Days. The classic adventure novel Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne has been adapted into film multiple times, with varying degrees of success. However, the 2004 remake, directed by Frank Coraci, is often considered to be the worst adaptation of the story. Starring Jackie Chan, Steve Coogan, and Cécile de France, the film was criticized for its weak script, poor pacing, and lack of chemistry between the lead actors. Many felt that the film relied too heavily on special effects and slapstick humor, sacrificing the charm and wit of the original story. Additionally, the 2004 remake faced criticism for its depictions of racial stereotypes, particularly with the portrayal of the character Passepartout, played by Chan. The film was accused of perpetuating negative stereotypes of Asian characters, which was seen as particularly disappointing given the progressive message of Verne's original novel. Overall, the 2004 remake of Around the World in 80 Days failed to capture the script of Verne's classic story and was largely panned by critics and audiences alike. Number 3. The Mummy. The 2017 remake of The Mummy is often considered one of the worst remakes of a classic film in recent years. The original 1999 film, starring Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz, was a beloved adventure comedy that paid homage to classic horror films while also incorporating humor and action. In contrast, the 2017 version, directed by Alex Kurtzman, was criticized for its lack of originality and poorly executed plot. The film starred Tom Cruise as the lead actor, but was heavily criticized for his performance and the focus on his character over the title or mummy. Furthermore, the film was accused of prioritizing action over storytelling, many feeling that the set pieces were over the top and poorly integrated into the plot. The film also attempted to set up a dark universe of interconnected monster movies, but the failure of The Mummy effectively killed that plan. Overall, the 2017 remake of The Mummy was a critical and commercial failure that failed to capture the magic of the original film. Many felt that the film lacked the heart and humor that made the original so enjoyable, and that it was a poor attempt to start a shared universe of classic monster films. Number 2. The Woman. The 2008 remake of The Woman is often considered one of the worst remakes of a classic film in recent years. The original film, released in 1939 and directed by George Cukor, starred an all-female cast and was a sharp satire of the lives of wealthy New York socialites. In contrast, the 2008 version, directed by Diane English, was criticized for its poor script, weak performances, and reliance on tired stereotypes. The film starred Meg Ryan, Annette Bening, and Eva Mendes, but was panned for their lack of chemistry and inability to capture the wit and charm of the original cast. Furthermore, the 2008 remake was accused of failing to update the original story for a modern audience. While the original film was a cutting commentary on gender roles and societal expectation, the 2008 version was seen as a shallow and lacking in depth. Overall, the 2008 remake of The Woman failed to capture the essence of the original film and was widely panned by critics and audiences alike. Number 1. The Stepford Wives. The 2004 remake of The Stepford Wives is considered one of the worst remakes that ruined a classic film. The original 1975 film was a cult classic, known for its suspenseful storytelling and commentary on gender roles in society. However, the 2004 remake failed to capture the essence of the original and received widespread criticism from audiences and critics alike. Starring Nicole Kidman and Matthew Broderick, the remake strayed too far from the original story, incorporating more comedic elements and losing the tension and suspense that made the original so compelling. The film also failed to capture the social commentary of the original, instead relying on cheap humor and special effects. Critics noted the weak writing and lack of direction, with many comparing it to a made-for-TV movie rather than a theatrical release. Overall, the remake of The Stepford Wives failed to live up to the legacy of the original and remains a disappointing example of how not to remake a classic film. So that's it. Please like, share, and comment your thoughts below if you liked this video. Remember to subscribe to see our next video.